and welcome to the Dyer's Journal podcast episode first blooper of the day, episode 6. And yes, welcome all our new subscribers. We've had many new subscribers this month, which super excited about, but super intimidated. It's like having podcast fright, like stage fright, podcast fright. So anyways, welcome, and let me start off by thanking Kaz of the Wee So and So. A lot of our subscribers that came over this month have came from the Wee So and So podcast. Kaz, as you all know, or most people know, and I have had the privilege of spending time with Kaz before when I took a trip to Scotland, not last year, just some months ago. So yeah, thank you, Kaz, for sending everybody over, and thank you for me having podcast fright. So, and I got to catch up with Kaz's podcast. I've been so super busy that I just haven't had much time to get on there and stuff. So anyways, that's part of my plan in December, is to catch up with Kaz at the Wee So and So. So yes, welcome to episode 6. This is not going to be a super long episode for a couple of different reasons. Firstly, it's been so long since a podcast, and in our last podcast we had started a giveaway, so I wanted to get on here and announce who won our giveaway. And I'm really sorry, there's another blooper of the day. I have a phone in the background so I can look at it while I'm podcasting, and it just fell off the table. So I'm just going to leave it there. So anyways, it can stay there. I bought a device to put my phone on so I could set it behind my tablet, which I podcast on, because then it just kind of helps you see yourself as you're podcasting, making sure you're looking in the right place and everything else. And might I say, the thing is a piece of rubbish. It keeps falling over. So anyway, I'm just going to leave it on the floor. So the other reason it's not going to be super long is I don't have anything in the Dyer studio, this podcast, to put in. Not because I don't have the content, I just haven't had the time to, get it all organised and give to my daughter, who does the editing of the vlogs and the podcasts. So yeah, my fault. I didn't have time to get it all together, so that's okay. And I'm not going to talk a lot about business today also, so it'll make it a bit shorter. Not because I don't have content for that either. I just don't really want to talk a lot about business. I'd rather spend time with you guys and see what you guys are all up to, let you know what I have been up to. So yeah, there'll just be a little bit about business. So I don't know if you have your cuppa. I have my cuppa ready to chat to you guys, but I do need to nip to the loo, so I'm going to switch you off for just a second, and I'm going to be right back. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Dyer's Journal podcast, episode 6. As you know, I am Jackie, your host here, and I own Lowlander yarn studio. So, hi. Anyways, this episode, before all these bloopers occur, this episode was and is going to be entitled, just wait for it because it's in this brain somewhere, Confessions of a Knitter and a Dyer. And all the bloopers that go along with it. Bloopers, screw-ups, and as you can tell, a menopausal brain. Because yes, I do have a menopausal brain for all you ladies that are going through menopause or pre-menopause. That's where I'm at in my life right now. So yeah, sometimes the thoughts are there and sometimes they just disappear. So anyways, welcome back. I just get back from the loo, so I'm all good, and I am going to try, since this episode is going to be entitled Confessions of a Knitter and Dyer and all the bloopers and screw-ups and everything else, I am going to try and go all the way through this episode without having to cut and paste. So I am going to keep all the bloopers in there that I will make along the way, and I'm sure there will be many. I've already made a couple in the first couple of minutes. So anyways, yes, as I said, not going to be super long. As you can see, I have a different background today. The reason that I have a different background is it is Advent season, and plus one of the busiest seasons in a yarn dyer's world, or in the yarn world. So my craft room is full of yarn for orders, full of yarn for Advents, wrapping papers, things that go in the parcels, boxes, and all the paraphernalia that goes along with getting wrapped up for the season. So I was not able to get in my craft room. So you are in my wee living room here in the Ozarks, Springfield, Missouri to be precise. That's where I live now, Springfield, Missouri. So yes, let's get going. As I said, I don't have much in the business world because I don't really want to make this all about business, because it's just going to be maybe about a half an hour long. So, because the last one I did was so long, because I go so long between episodes because I get super busy that I have to try and cram everything in and everything I want to put in. So yeah, I'm leaving some things out this time so I can kind of make it a half an hour and just touch base with you guys and let you know about my month, which has been very interesting. So yes, in the business world, we just released our last part of, for all you that are watching who are part of our Shetland Mystery Murder Yarn Club, we just released our last part for order. So the last part is going to be a selection of yarns and goodies that we will send to you when you sign up. And it will kind of cover the last few episodes of Shetland Season 1. So in the first club we sent out, which was Season 1, Episode 1, we named our yarn, let me get that right, blooper number 3. Mimi's Croft is what we named it. So, and that all got sent out and everybody was happy with it. And then our last yarn that we sent out, which was Season 1, Episode 2, I created and took the inspiration from my favourite character, which is Tosh. I love Tosh because she comes from Glasgow and I'm a Glasgow girl, and I know that there's another girl that's signed up that's called Ouija, I want to say it's Ouija Mum or something like that. And anyway, Ouija, to all yous who don't know, is what us Glaswegians call ourselves. So people from Glasgow will call themselves Ouijies. So welcome, Ouija Mum. It was nice to see. I knew straight away that you're from Glasgow. So anyways, that's why I love Tosh, because she's from Glasgow, my hometown, and she's just a really fun and mysterious character. So yes, I created a yarn last season, which last club, which you guys will all have now, and I named it Tosh, and I have a skein of it here. So this is called Tosh, and you can find it on our website, and this was part 2 of our Shetland Murder Mystery Yarn Club, and I just love it. It's got some oranges in there and golds, and just love it. And we did a little mini skein to go along with it, which is right there, which we pulled from the kind of rusty orangey colour. So yes, for all you that signed up, you have now received your yarn, and we are now on the last part. So yeah, if you want to jump on board for the last part, then get onto our website and get your club ordered. And we will probably start season 2 sometime after Christmas. I'm not sure when, but we'll let you know about that. The other thing in business news that I want to let you guys know, because it's just easier to talk about it, is, as you know, our Advent season is underway, and our Advent calendars for order have been closed for about a month now. But every year, well, I guess this is only our second year, but we do a secret Santa stocking, which usually releases about the first part of November. And we just released that. So if you want to get on board with that, for all those who couldn't or didn't order a yarn Advent calendars, or for those customers who like all of the Advent stuff, get on there and order our Secret Santa stocking. And basically what a Secret Santa stocking is exactly what it says. It's a stocking filled with goodies that comes to you before Christmas that you can either put under your tree or put on your mantle, and you're not supposed to open it until Christmas Day, so no peeking. Yes, and it's just filled with goodies. So yes, that is now on our website. Orders for that close, I believe, November 15th, and we only have a very limited number available. So if you want to grab one, get on our website and grab it. And the last thing in business news that I want to tell you about, yeah, I kind of talk a little business throughout the podcast, but obviously what I've been up to and stuff, but the last big thing in business I want to talk to you about is I will be closing shop from December 15th to January 15th. I take a break once a year in our slow season once I get everything out for the year. And really what that is for is for several reasons. One, in any business that runs throughout the year, you got to spend some time closing down your business from the year and starting another year. So that's one reason. Another reason is you get so burnt out with colour and creating and being busy with stuff that everything in the background just gets kind of piled up. You don't have much time for podcasting or talking to you guys. I don't get much time for knitting. I don't get much time for house cleaning. But then who wants to clean when you can knit? So yeah, we will be closing down for a month for me to get a break and get my Christmas organised and to finish out the year and start afresh with some new ideas and new colourways and new knit projects and everything else, and also for me to sit and take some time to knit and finish some of my me projects, because I have been so busy in the dye studio this month or this past couple of months that I haven't had a lot of time to do some stuff, and what free time I've had, I've put my me projects aside, which was like my Jackie vest, my Cloudy with a Chance of Sunshine shawl. A lot of my knitting is on hold because I've been really busy making stuff for the kids and the grandkids, as you know from the last podcast. Which, yes, I have got a lot done, so that's been really good. But just been super, super, super busy in the dye studio this month. So yeah, just finishing up my year, and yeah, it's been busy, girls. So anyways, as you know, like I said, this episode is entitled Confessions of a Knitter and a Dyer. So let's start with the dyer part of it. I've made a lot of screw ups this month. I don't know if it's because I've been busy or this menopausal brain thing. I don't know what it is. I've made some bloopers, girls, and I'm not afraid to share, because really in the dye studio there's never, in a sense, a true screw up and a true blooper, because whatever I screw up I keep for myself and I do again. But yeah, one of the biggest screw ups I made this month was when I was getting ready for my last yarn update, when I was ordering my yarn to come in so that I could dye stuff for the yarn update. Instead of ordering our Highland Way fingering weight yarn, which is 100% superwash merino, I ordered 10 bags of Highland Way worsted. Didn't realise until it came and I unpacked it, which was 1 week before, well, it was about 10 days before the yarn update, that I had bought the wrong yarn. Which in the dyeing world is a very costly mistake, because I didn't need 10 bags of Highland Way worsted weight yarn, because that's not one of our main yarns we sell, even though we do sell it. I needed 10 bags of the fingering weight yarn. So yes, that was a huge blooper, which was a costly blooper. So then I had the choice, do I send it back and get a credit to my account, or do I keep it and use it throughout the year? So I did decide, because it was getting to the end of a business year, that I would just send it back. Well, postal charges are extremely expensive, and the company wouldn't be nice enough to kind of understand my mistake, which is fine. Business is business, and stuff. So anyways, all that to say, I want to say it cost me about $50 to send it back. So yeah, it was a little frustrating, and then obviously by the time I ordered the right stuff, it didn't come in time for the yarn update for me to dye everything. So that's why in my last yarn update I didn't have as much available as I normally would have, or what I had planned. So I know a lot of people missed out in the last yarn update, because if you were not fast, you were last. And we had released some curated sets this last yarn update, which was a set of 3 yarns and some different colour combinations, and they literally sold out like that. So yeah, so I know a lot of you guys are frustrated, so I'm sorry. That was my blooper, and hopefully in our next yarn update, which we will do one more before I clock off for my month break. I don't know what date it will be, but yeah, I'll let you guys know that. So some other bloopers I made in the Dye Studio was I had an order for several skeins of yarn from a customer, and same yarn. And I have 2 yarns that are very similar. I have a yarn called Thistle, and I have a yarn called the Flower of Scotland. And the only difference between both of them have the same colours in them. One is a green and an aubergine that's just speckled. And the other one is the aubergine is almost like a colour band within it. So a solid colour in part of the yarn, and the rest of it is speckled with the green. So yeah, the order was for Thistle, and I'm getting it all dyed up and everything else, and go to wrap it all up and print off the invoice, and realised that I dyed the Flower of Scotland, which was just the speckled, and it wasn't the Thistle I dyed, which was 11 skeins of yarn. So that was very frustrating, because not only did I have to fix it, which thank goodness it was fixable, because the aubergine was to be a solid colour, so I was able to dye over part of the yarn to do that, so just because of the nature of the 2 colours. But it meant that I was kind of late with my order, which I don't like to be. So yeah, that was frustrating. And there was, oh yes, the other big thing in the Dye Studio this month. I am a very religious when I use my dye pots, like my dye jars with the dye powder in them, to put the caps back on. I'm always double checking that I have the caps back on. Well, I was speckling some yarn, and then I went to clean up and went to lift a pot dye, which was orange, and I hadn't put the cap on right. So guess what, girls? All over the floor, literally. And I have a rug in front of my dye area, just because I stand there so long. It's kind of nice to have something soft under your feet. And I'm not even kidding you. And it was a cream rug. And this dye was everywhere. And I'm just like, seriously? Not only was it a night that I ruined the whole pot of dye powder, but yeah, I was like, okay, how am I going to clean up this dye? Because you can't vacuum it, because that would just make your vacuum cleaner an absolute disaster. I didn't want to wet it, so guess what I did? I rolled it up and kept it aside until I decided how I'm going to deal with it. so it's still out in my garage. So anyways, that is the confessions of a dyer in the Dye Studio. And for any dyers that are out there watching, I'm sure that you guys have a lot of bloopers, screw ups, and everything else. So, and on the order that was late, that I knew it was going to be late because I dyed the wrong colour, in order to speed up the process of the drying, because this time of year it takes, I dry naturally, so this time of year I don't spin dry the yarns or anything, I just let them dry in their natural spot that they dry in my garage. But I knew I had to speed up this process, so I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to speed up this process? So I thought, well, we use a hairdryer to dry our hair, So why not use a hairdryer to dry yarn? So I got my hairdryer out and I spent 2 hours, and just as a disclaimer, it was not hot air coming out the hairdryer, it was cold air. So it was just like a fan, but I could control it where I could hold it. Because I do put fans in my yarn, but obviously I can't hold the fan. So I thought, well, I'll get the hairdryer. So yeah, 2 hours drying the yarn. So yeah, confessions of a dyer in the dye studio. So yeah, that was my month in the dye studio. So yes, and other confessions this month, I think it was Monday, where I had the most awful day ever. I am not even kidding you. From start to finish, it was just one thing after another. And oh my goodness, it would take like a whole hour to go into everything. But you know, it started off the day I was dyeing yarn for Advents, and I ran out of citric acid. I thought I had another bucket of citric acid, which I didn't. So I was like, great, no citric acid to dye the yarns. So, and I had already ordered citric acid because I order it once a month, but it wasn't going to be here for a while. So I was like, well, great. So I went from that, because I was doing that, and while yarns were in pots, I was also packing orders. So I thought, well, I'll just concentrate and completely packing orders. So I come in the house and I'm like packing orders, trying to get everything ready. I get super amount of orders to get out Mondays, and after our yarn update. And my mum phones Helga and she and her friends, the Happy Hookers, had bought some yarn quite a while ago, which I had posted, and I was conscious of the fact I had not got there yet. So anyway, Mum called on Monday morning and she was stressed out. She's like, could you just check on it? And I was like, okay, I'll check on it. So yeah, I get the slip out and this and that. Cut long story short, or to make a short story long, it took me 2 hours to deal with it from the United States Postal Service automated system. Obviously does not work with the Scottish accent. So that was very frustrating, because it was telling me to say stuff and it wouldn't understand me. And at the same time, I tried to pack these orders and everything else and yada yada. And I'm like, oh my God, seriously, I just want to find this parcel. Then it went from there, and then I had to contact Parcel Force in the UK and yada yada yada. So I was dealing with that. I was dealing with packing orders. Then I had to go print off labels. Then my printer wouldn't work. And I was like, my printer won't work? What on earth? Seriously, my printer will not work. And I'm like, oh Lord, I have got to print off these labels. Because normally I keep a stack of labels, but it was a new yarn, so I hadn't printed the labels yet. So I'm thinking at this point, oh dear God, it's broken. And then I stop for a second and I look at it and I'm like, there's not a light on in it. Why is that? So I thought, oh, well, I must have switched it off. Press the button, press it on, off, not going on. And I'm like, what on earth? Well, I forgot that little Stella was here a couple of days before it, and she likes to build a den under my desk where all my plugs are, and her daddy had unplugged mostly everything in order for her to be safe under there. So anyway, so it just went from one thing to another, and now I'm going to share what probably the main problem was for all you ladies out there. I also took a period on Monday, so I was like, seriously? Are you kidding me on? Which probably explained why I was a cranky mess over the weekend and why everything that was going on Monday I just was not handling. But I had not taken a period in 5 months because I am premenopausal. And when I went to my gynecologist for my appointment a couple of months ago, she had asked me, how long I had been. And I was like, at that point, I think it was about 3 months. And she's like, well, you only have 9 months to go. I was like, 9 months to go for what? She went, well, if you miss a period for 12 months, then that's you properly in menopause. And I was like, good. So I am 5 months into menopause, girls. For all you ladies out there that are premenopausal, that are dealing with the hot flashes and the this and the that and the memory loss and the crankiness and all the crap that goes with it. 5 months in and I take a period. And I'm literally in the middle of my Monday going, what? 5 months in and I take a period. that means it starts all over again, because that's what they say. If you have a period during the premenopause stage, your 12 months starts all over again. So you know what? Happy Monday. So the question is, what did I do next? Well, I'll tell you what I did next. I thought, nothing's working here. I'm going to get my orders to the post office. I can't dye yarn because I've run out of citric acid and it was going to take another day for it to come. So I thought, well, I'm going to be a knitter for the rest of the day, and I am going to get some stuff out and do some knitting or organising or whatever. So I decided to go through all my baskets and find any unfinished projects throughout the year that I had on my needles that were unfinished. And here comes the confessions of knitter. I actually did not realise how many projects. I had so many projects in my baskets. I didn't even know what some of them were. I was like, well, what is this and what is that? Luckily, for anybody out there that has Knitter's Companion, I have that on my tablet. So I know all the patterns that I was working on throughout the year are in there. So I'm really hoping I compare the patterns to whatever it is I think it is, which I'm about to share all of my unfinished projects. For all you knitters out there that have too many projects in their needle and you stay in the closet, I'm about to come out the closet, which I'm a little ashamed about, because I had the cheek to put 3 more projects, like you've seen in the other podcast, on my needles this past couple of months. So yeah, so I think my goal for 2020, when I take my month off and plan all my stuff, is to finish these projects. So yes, I am about to show you guys. So let us talk about not whips, which are works in progress. Jackie's going to talk about UFOs, which are unfinished objects. Some I know of, and some I have absolutely no clue what they are. So the first one I do know, which I found in my basket, and I know why it was in my basket and it was on hold, because I was waiting to accumulate some more minis. But I had started a project, and it may have been in another podcast. I have no clue. So if it has, I do apologise. But I now have an accumulation of minis that I can get in this little lovely lace scarf. But found this in my basket, which is not far from being finished. So I think this might be first on my list to finish. But this was a project that started the beginning of the year with minis, just to show. The plan was to show you guys what you can do with minis. And this is the feather and fan popular pattern that you can find all over the internet, and most of the time it's free. So yes, you can see how the minis. Oh, I love this mini color. Look at that mini color. It's like a rainbow. So yes, a lot of times in a dye studio, when I'm dyeing yarn, as most dyers know, most of the time your most of the time your dye exhausts in your pot, but you get the occasional time where your yarn doesn't, your dye doesn't exhaust, and I usually use mini skeins to mop up the rest of the dye from the water. So yeah, I just like throw in mini skeins, or sometimes I'll add a little bit of dye of a different color to it or something. So I usually have an accumulation of minis. So this is what this has been over the year, is just little mop-ups from dyeing yarn. So, but I do know, you can see it, I love it actually. So yes, that's the feather and fan, and I think I'm probably maybe gonna do another, 10 or 12 inches to it and then finish it off. But I do have an accumulation of minis from this past couple of months of dyeing yarn that literally, yeah, I just throw them in a pot. Sometimes I dip dye them in different pots or whatever, but these are an accumulation of many. So these are mine because when you dye yarn for a living, you got to keep a little part for yourself. So this is my little basket of minis. I keep them in a basket. So they will be going into the feather and fan shawl, and yeah, I shall finish that off. So I do know what that one project is, so we can get rid of that. And for all you guys that are looking at me, you're looking at this little poncho, which I also found in my basket because I also had an accumulation of finished projects that just needed blocked or the yarn ends sewn in or whatever. This was a pattern my mum designed and sent and is on a notebook which needs to be wrote up, which is one of my plans for 2020. This is called By the Lakeside, and it's a poncho pattern. It basically is knit as a huge stole, and then the way you sew it, it forms into a poncho. So last night it had already been blocked. It needs a little bit more blocking, I guess. I didn't aggressively block it, so I'll probably go back in the blocking boards, whatever you want to call them. So yes, so I got that all sewn up last night, and I must say I really like it. And these are Lowlander yarns. This one is our dry sewn yarn, and this one is, I want to say it's Highland Trail, which is not on our website right now because we are completely out of stock, and I was in the process of taking some new photographs of the yarn. So yes, I have a few in my basket. I got a photograph and get on there. So that's what that is, and hopefully in 2020 that pattern will be released because it's knit up, and I have the pattern notes that my mum sent me. I just have to work the pattern up into PDF form, which for anybody that does pattern designing, that's not an overnight thing. That takes time to work up a pattern and get it test knit and everything else. So yeah, hopefully 2020 that one will be out. So let me see. I can show you another project that I do know what it is. This is also from minis. These minis are ones that we actually had dyed for one of our mini clubs. And I know this pattern because it is my pattern. It is Designed by Imagination, which is available on Ravelry. So if you want it, you can get on there. I've shown it in previous podcasts, but I decided to use some minis in this one, and as you can see, I had started it and then abandoned ship at some point during the year, probably just because I got busy and had too much to do. But I love fall colours. I am a fall colour girl. So yeah, these colours really suit me. So yeah, if you want that pattern, it is Designed by Imagination, and our mini club for the year is about to end. We have one more release that goes out in the 1st of December, and the plan for all the yarns that have been in the club throughout the year is to go onto our website in 2020. So, and these will be some of the mini yarns, because we'll be doing mini sets that will go on there. So yeah, this was one of our clubs this past year. Oops. So anyways, if you want the pattern, it's Designed by Imagination. If you want to wait in the yarns, they will be released in 2020. So yeah. So I do know what that is. So that's going to be a project that also, hopefully, in 2020 will get finished. And then I came across a couple of projects. I kind of remember starting them, but I don't actually remember what pattern they were or what I was doing. But I do know when usually I have, and it's on my knit companion, so I will have to look, but usually when I have something, when I don't have a pattern really to go with it, I know that I took it out of my 750 stitch book, which is my go-to book whenever I just want to freeform do something. So yeah, I will just need to pair my knit companion to my book and to my project to figure out what on earth I was knitting. So first things first was I found, make sure I got it the right way around, I found this project in my basket. Obviously, it was going to be either a cowl or a wrap or big scarf. But I have no idea until I get into my knit companion and my 750 stitch book, however you say that, what it actually is. So when I find out what this actually is, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, but I really like it. And I'm obviously about halfway done, so, and I've double stranded some yarn. I can tell it is stash yarn because I don't dye yarn and balls like this. So obviously it was stash yarn from when I owned the yarn shop. So yes, I will need to get that finished too. So that's that. So if I figure out what it is, girls, I'll let you know. Because right at this very moment, I don't actually know what it is. And this project, which is halfway through a row, so it's kind of hard to show you guys. But I do know what this was. It was just something I was doing as I was going along. I wanted to make myself something in the style like this, but a heavy one for winter, which I had started at the beginning of the year and obviously never got very far with it. So yeah, it was just like a plain garter stitch, and you just kind of knit like a really long band that's long enough, and then the way you sew it up, it becomes kind of like a poncho or a, I don't know what they call it, ponchonini or something like that. So yeah, that was that. I know I was also using some stash yarns from my yarn shop in this project. So yeah, I will need to get that finished. So that will be on my list for 2020 to finish. And then this, I have no clue what. Well, I know it was going to be a headband. Obviously, I can see it's going to be a headband because it's not very wide. But I don't know what pattern it is. So I'm hoping when I go on to my knit companion that it is there, because if it's a headband, I'm halfway through knitting it. And this was also some stash yarn that I have from the shop. I can tell that by the ball and how it's wrapped. So yeah, but I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So I will need to take an afternoon when I get into my knit companion and figure out not only what all these patterns are, but when I'm at with them. Because in knit companion, I don't know for you guys that, for you guys that have knit companion, you can track your project, which I love, and you can track what row you're on. You can track different things in it. So I know for a fact all my projects are in there. So I just have to get in there and see when I'm at and pick them back up. So that's that. I won't know until I'm in there what that is. And as you can tell, there's a theme going on here. I obviously like brown, because browns and greens and oranges and all those earthy colours, because almost every project I found was that colour. And I'm like, maybe I have to knit with more colour, but I'm just not a pastel person, a pink person. I like really earthy colours. So the other thing I found, which I don't know what the pattern is, but I know exactly what I was doing with it. I know it was going to be a cushion, a cabled cushion, because I wanted one for my bedroom, and it's the colours of my bedroom. Or green, my favourite colour, for all yous who know that, and all yous who don't know that. Green is my favourite colour. Let me try and kind of scoot it out a bit so you can see. So you can see I got, oops, almost took a, and yes ladies, I'm on some straight needles because I am a straight needle gal. Usually I knit with more circulars now because I knit a lot of shawls and stuff that have a lot of stitches, but I do like to put the needle under my arm and knit with it. That's how my mother knits, that's how I've knit for years, and that's how I like knitting. tucking it under your arm. I couldn't really tuck it under because my poncho. But, so yes, I will need to get on to my knit companion and pick this back up. I'm about a quarter way through with that. So yeah, so many projects and I don't even know. I don't even know. Anyways, I think that was maybe 5. So that was all the unfinished projects I found in my basket when I was cleaning out my basket, all 3 baskets. But yes, I do have some finished projects to show you, not from previous things that I have shown on the podcast, but I've been doing a lot of Christmas gifting, like smaller projects and stuff. So yes, I crocheted some bands for the girls, and this is just my own pattern, which it's not that complicated, so anything I remember I will put in the show notes below, so if you want to know anything, go there. If it's not there, then obviously I didn't remember what I did or how I did it, but this I do because this is my own pattern for a chunky crochet headband. I've been making these for years. You can make them all different ways. You start with a basic band and you can either pull it together, put buttons on it. This one I just did plain, and this one I put 3 kind of buttons on and it'll kind of sit to the side. And then this one was like a multicolored yarn, and I did a little thinner with thinner yarn and popped a button on there. So these are super easy to make for all yous who crochet. I mean, literally they do not take hardly any time, especially if you're using a chunky yarn. And I crochet into the back of the stitch as I'm going, which gives it firstly the expandable that you need, but it also makes it look like a rib. So I've did that for years. And normally I chain about 15 and then I'm working on 14 stitches, because as you all know in crochet you start from the second chain from the hook, and then these are just double crochet. So basically I chain 15, I start from the second chain from the hook, I double crochet along in every chain, which gives you 14 stitches, and then from that point on I do a chain 2, then I turn, and then I double crochet into all the double crochets along, but I double crochet into the back. You can either do it into the back or into the front of the stitch. So, and that's what gives you this little kind of rib pattern, and it also makes it super stretchy. Now, the only thing I will say is when you come to the very last double crochet of the row, I don't chain into the back of the front, I go right through. The only reason being, if you just chained into the front and the back, you'd get like single little holes right along here, which I don't like. But anyways, I shall write that up, and you can choose to do it plain, or you can choose to kind of pull it in and put some buttons on it. These are for the girls, these are for Isla and Stella. You can put buttons all the way down it if you would like. You can do thinner ones. This works with any weight of yarn. You just use a crochet hook appropriate to what yarn you use. But yeah, these are great. The girls love them. I did them last year for the girls, so obviously they've grown since then. So yeah, super excited about that. So yeah, those are done. And then I gotta do one more pair, but I knit some mitts for Stella, as you can see, and this was a pattern a friend shared with me. It's called, I'll put the link below, but it's called, I want to say it's called the easiest mitt pattern ever. And when they said easy, they were not kidding. It was super easy. I did these in a night, super quick, and I have one on my needles for Isla right now. These are Stella's, and they will go with her little headband here. So I did a headband and a pair of mitts. So I'm also doing a pair of mitts for Isla, so I gotta get those finished. So they're all finished. These are Christmas gifts, stocking stuffers. So look at my stacks so far, girls. I guess I'm doing not bad. So these are all for the girls. And then I have finished up some more hats for the girls. So I did this one for Ayla, which I think will look super cute because she has like really dark eyes and really dark hair. She's like a little mini Pocahontas. She's so adorable. So I thought that would look super cute in Ayla. So yeah, I did that for Ayla. I don't have the pattern for this, girls, because I just did what I wanted to do when I was knitting it. I have a basic chart for knit hats, which tells you how many stitches, what age, what the circumference is, what the length needs to be, what your decreases are, and it just enables you to do whatever pattern you want in there. So yeah, I didn't keep track. I just made it up as I went. Obviously, these ridges are where, obviously when you knit in a circle, you're just knitting. This is where I just kind of pedaled in the round, which created these little ridges. So yeah, I may put a pom-pom on it, I may not. I have not decided yet. So that is that. And then this super hat was knit in one of our hand-dyed yarns for one of the girls, the older girls. I don't know which one it'll be for yet. But my favourite colour, green. I'd keep it for myself, but I absolutely don't sew hats. Seriously don't sew hats. In fact, when me and my mum used to do the craft fairs, before I owned a yarn shop, me and my mum would come once a year for 3 months, and we would, my mum would knit all year round, bring knitwear, and I would knit all year round, and we would do craft fairs and sell our hand knit stuff. So, and I remember one of the things we would say all the time when people would look at hats and they would be like, oh, I really like that. Could you try it on to see what it looks like? And I would say to people all the time, I'm like, I'm going to try it on, but I ain't going to try it because I really do not suit hats. Yeah, I wished I did because I love knitting them, but yeah, it's just not going to look good. So I'm not going to try it on for you girls. But this is just a plain beanie, which you can find. As I say, I just use my chart, but you can find online for fingering weight, worsted weight, just plain old beanie with a rib. And yeah, plain old beanie. So there's that one, and then here's another beanie that I did for my son Ross, which I also took out the 750 stitch book. They have a ferrule part in the back, and basically you just need to know your stitch count in order to work things out. But they have like this isn't the page that one was on, but they have like a ferrule part at the back which you can look at and just work out how many stitches is on your needle. So yeah, that's kind of fun to do. So I don't really have a pattern for it, I just kind of made it up as I went. But you know, for you guys that don't have it, you can look up hat charts online, and they are the coolest thing. They're basically just a chart that tell you, I'll try and look for one and put it on here, or tell you in my next podcast. But I've had mine for years, and I printed it out and I keep it on my pegboard in my craft room. But it tells you the circumference a hat needs to be for a certain size, whether it be a toddler, a child, an adult. It tells you the length that it needs to be before you do your decreases. It tells you what your stitch count should be for like fingering weights, DK weights, worsted weights and such. So it's really super easy to figure out what you need to put in your needle for what size. And then once you have all that information, then it's easy to put in your own designs and your hats. So I think my son Ross will like this. I'm really hoping he'll like it, but I like it. So that's that. And here's another little one that I finished for Stella, which is just a plain beanie. And I just popped a couple of buttons on it for an accent. So yeah. But I love knitting hats. Hats is one of my favorite things to knit. So yeah, I love knitting hats, and I love knitting wrist warmers, which I have too many pairs of. So that's kind of some projects I finished for Christmas. One of the things, which is not yarn related, I am making for the boys, which I started, is these little Scrabble coasters, because they all have bar carts in their house. It's an in thing apparently with this generation. Everybody has a bar cart. So I made them some little beer coasters to put in their bar carts. So I haven't finished them, but so yeah, you just buy these Scrabble tiles, and then you can buy the cork boards to go with it, and you basically just glue them on, and then I'm probably going to Mod Podge them just to give them a coating so that they don't stain and stuff. So this is a super fun project to do at a weekend when you're done with your dyeing, or you're just having a bad day, or stuff. So I really think they'll like them. So yeah, I really like them. So that's another project I'm working on. And just for relaxation, I've been working on, I think I put it in the last podcast, I started a blanket for myself with minis too. So, and it has grown a little bit, girls. So, don't know if you can kind of see it in here. You can see it. So, yeah, I love it. I'm loving how it's working up. I'm just using scrap minis, and I just started with a big granny square. And then I did some little granny squares, and sewed them in sewed them in strips, and then kind of did it like a quilt where I kind of sewed them all together, and then picked it back up, and I'm just going round and round and round. So yeah, every time I get some extra minis, I just, as you know, I just showed you a big collection. So yeah, between the three projects, I shall be using them up. So yeah, so that's really what I have been doing this month when I have not been dyeing in the dye studio. I'd love to know what you guys are doing, if you guys are doing any, not if you guys are doing projects for Christmas. Every knit and crocheter does projects for Christmas. Please share with us here what you guys are working on. Share your ideas. If it's a free pattern, share the source. Even if it's a paid pattern, share the source, but never give a paid pattern for free online, because that's not respectful to the person who designed it, who charges money for their patterns. So please share what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing, what your plans are for your Christmas knitting, and yeah, please share away. If you like our podcast, then subscribe by hitting the button below, because yeah, just subscribe, that's all I have to say. You can find us in all the usual places. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We have a website, all under Lowlander Yarn Studio, so you can find us there. This episode did turn out a little bit longer than what I wanted it to, because I think I just talked too much. And for all you Helga fans, we did try and put Helga in the last part of the podcast, but we couldn't figure it out. She said she did a little podcasting. So that's another plan over Christmas break, that me and my daughter, Becca, who does all the administrative and technical work here at Lowlander, we're going to try and figure out how we get Helga's podcasts in video form and be able to attach them to our podcasts. So yeah, we're going to figure out that. So without further ado, we have a giveaway to announce, and we ran 2 giveaways last month. One of the giveaways we ran was on our Instagram, and it was a really fun giveaway. It was a giveaway with a difference. It wasn't just, tag a friend, this and that. I asked you guys, and I don't know if any of you guys are on the podcast, but if you are, but I asked you guys to, in order to participate in the giveaway, that you needed to suggest a colorway for me to dye. That could be one color, multiple color, speckled, anything that you wanted to see dyed in any color. Suggest it and give it a name, and then I was going to choose one from the many entries that we had, dye it up, call it what you named it, and release it for sale on our last update, which I did. So we had many entries. So firstly, thank you to all that entered. It was such a fun giveaway, and there were so many great ideas. It was really hard just to choose one, but I finally did decide on one. It was by a girl called Michaela Jackson. I can't remember what her Instagram name is, but I'll look it up and I'll put it in the link below. But she's on Instagram, and she has suggested that we colour something that had gold and browns and mustards and stuff like that, and call it speckled hen. And I don't know why it caught my eye, but it caught my eye, And I thought, my kind of colour. And speckled hen, I don't know what it was about speckled hen. I just loved the name. So I went about the dye studio creating Michaela's yarn. And also the person who I chose also got a skein of her yarn and some little goodies to go along with it. Let me get it unraveled here. But yes, ladies, meet speckled hen. Created, inspired, designed, and named by you, our customers. I love how it turned out. I absolutely love it. So I kept a skein for myself to get it on my needles once I finish all my other projects, of course. This is now available on our website. You can see all the mustards and the golds through it. And it actually in person is a little darker than what it shows up on our screen and also on our website. But get on there and grab yourself a skein. I don't know if we're sold out or not. I haven't checked today, but I know that when we released it for our yarn update, we did completely sell out. So, and then I got some more on there for like pre-orders. So yes, get on the website. So thank you to Michaela Jackson for suggesting this yarn, for coming up with a great name. And also I want to say that I kept a few other ideas that you guys had commented on for 2020, because there was a few others I was like, oh, I really love the name of that. I love the color combo. I'd never tried, some suggestions wouldn't normally be things that I would think about. So I've kept a few on the back burner to dye up in 2020, and you will be happy to know if I choose one of your yarns to dye up in 2020, you will receive a free skein of it. So yeah, look out for that in 2020. Can you believe we're talking about 2020, that everybody's starting to close out their year? The shops have Christmas stuff in and it's not even Thanksgiving yet. But like, something's not right with that. Then our giveaway that we did here on our YouTube channel, I know it's been 4 or 5 weeks, but when we do a giveaway, obviously the Instagram giveaway this time was a little different. I chose specifically what I wanted for that. But most of our giveaways are, all of our giveaways, the winner is chosen by a random selector that my daughter uses, where all the names go into this computer generated program and it randomly selects someone. So that's what we used for this too at YouTube. All your names went into a random selector, and Becca gave me the name last night of who was chosen, and I'm happy to announce for our happy bag with her yarn Walking in the Woods, or not Walking in the Woods, Walk in the Woods, Renee Siffernan as our lucky recipient this time around. Renee, you will be receiving a happy bag here from Lowlander with your yarn goodie in it and some other goodies. And thank you to all who entered, and thank you to Renee for entering. And I'm super excited to send your bag on your way. So please message me with your address. And yeah, happy, congratulations. And we will probably do another giveaway here soon, here on our YouTube channel. So yes, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. Thanksgiving's coming up, which, even though I'm a Brit living abroad, I absolutely love Thanksgiving. It's one of my favourite holidays of the year, which makes me so more annoyed when I see Christmas stuff out and Thanksgiving's not been here. I'm like, I want to have Thanksgiving, I don't want to do Christmas yet. So yeah, I absolutely love Thanksgiving. It's a great holiday. I love everything about it, and I've always celebrated it. Because my kids are part American. They're part British, part American. They have dual citizenship. So yeah, it's just something as a family we've always done, and every year I look forward to it. Now, albeit because over there we have our turkey at Christmas because we don't have Thanksgiving. So yeah, you kind of get 2 turkeys in a 4-week period, and a lot of people are like, well, why don't you make something else for Christmas? But Christmas is just not the same without a turkey. It just isn't. So, but yes, I love your Thanksgiving holiday. So yeah, looking forward to that. I am not a Black Friday shopper, so I have no intentions of going out on Black Friday. Normally I'll go to the mall with my daughter Becca for like an hour and we'll trail around there. But to be honest with you, I don't know about anywhere else, but here in Springfield, the mall is dead on Black Friday. I guess everybody's at the bigger shops. So that's always fun. We go to the mall for an hour, we hang out, shop a little bit, and then grab a Starbucks coffee. So yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll make one more trip up to Kansas City this month to see my son Ross, who lives up there. Me and Michael are actually going to we're actually going to go up there because he won't be down for Thanksgiving, and we're going to cook him and his partner Mika a Thanksgiving meal the week before Thanksgiving. So super excited about that. I miss him dreadfully, but he's making his mark in the world up there. So yeah, I'm super proud of him and super happy about that. So yes, that's all I have, guys, really. I mean, I really don't have anything else, and I've probably droned on too much, and I've went longer than what I wanted to go. But I will probably tune in with you here in the next couple of weeks. I did make an Advent box for myself. So I will be opening Advents as you're opening them. I mean, of course, I know the colours that's in them, but I didn't keep one for myself last year, but this year I did. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to do like an unboxing. Like, I know Little Drops are wonderful for the month of October. She did a Vlogtober, like every day. So I might try and do that in December, but I'm not committing myself to it. And if I did it, it would only be like 5 or 10 minute videos where I'm just unveiling the yarn of the day and everything else and stuff. So I don't know, I haven't decided, but one of my plans when I'm on my month break is to catch up with some podcasting, catch up with some knitting. Yeah. Well, guys, it has been lovely, as usual, to hang out with you guys, and to everybody that's watching, thank you. Thank you to all our new subscribers. Welcome to all our new subscribers. And like I said in the last podcast, I don't know if you guys have all watched the podcast, I really suck at podcasting, but it's going to get better. And Helga always tells me, could you remember and smile? So Helga, if you're watching, I am trying to smile. But yeah, anyways, so thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode of the Dyer's Journal podcast, which will be episode 7. And if you like us, subscribe, please comment. Always makes us feel better when you comment, or you tell us something or whatever, so that we can get to know you all out there. So yes, until we meet again, haste you back.